I was 42 then when they packaged me out. It was just done not in a good way. So I took them to court for a lot of money, and I just decided, I'm 59 now, I was 42 then, that I'm only doing things that are going to make me happy, that help other people, and that make me boatloads of money because I love money so much. And I take a lot of crap for that, right? Like, and because what I didn't realize is that not everybody had that relationship with money. And so I became a money mindset and wealth strategist because I wanted to shift people's mindset about money, but also all of those limiting beliefs. And a lot
Mm.
of what people were doing was not aligned with who they are.
Welcome to the Self Care Goddess podcast, where healing stories, practical self care strategies, and science backed tools to regulate stress, feel calm, grounded, and energized come together to help you reclaim your vitality. I'm your host, Rita Savoya, holistic nutritionist, trauma-informed breathwork coach, and founder of Breathwork Barista. This podcast is for women who are ready to restore their energy and radiance, reconnect with their bodies, reawaken their inner power, and redefine self-care as a way of being. Through science meets soul practices, restorative mind-body tools, and real stories of transformation, we'll explore how true well-being can help you live with more joy, vibrant health, and authentic connection to yourself and those you love. Take a deep breath in, let it go, and let's begin. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Self Care Goddess podcast with today's theme, how to embrace wealth as a part of your personal and professional growth. So I'm excited. We haven't really talked about this too much on this podcast, so it's always nice to get fresh new perspectives on how to manage wealth, especially for women. Very, very excited to have our guest on today. Beautiful soul. Before we do, as you know, on this podcast, we're going to walk the talk and just allow a couple of moments to tune out what's going on around us, what we may have to do later, what we just did, and just tune in to the present moment. Let's anchor to the present moment by following our breath flow in and out of our body. If you are comfortable and able, you can either lower your gaze and just look at a fixed point or close your eyes and really tune out what's going on outside and tune in. How are you feeling? So allowing the breaths to flow in through the nose and then releasing with a sigh through the mouth. Gentle sigh. In, expanding the belly, the rib cage, and then the chest. And then exhaling with a sigh through the mouth, releasing any tension, any stress, anything that's feeling heavy. I now invite you to breathe in and out of your heart area. So allowing the inhales and exhales to expand your heart and exhaling gratitude for this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive without even noticing it. And as you continue these heart-focused breaths in and out of your heart area, I invite you to visualize someone that you're grateful for today, living or past. Visualize this person as if they were right here in front of you. And I invite you to send them all the love, the gratitude, and the appreciation for being in your life. And now I invite you to send this love, gratitude, and appreciation you just sent to this lovely person in your life. Send it back to you. Let it fill your heart for doing the work, being here, for your own self-care and self-love. On your next inhale, flutter your eyes open and come back to us. Thank you for participating in that quick coherence technique from the Heart Math Institute. So today we have Laura Armstrong. She is a dynamic leader in the wealth mastery space, a money mindset mentor, and a 3 times world champion martial artist. She empowers high performing entrepreneurs, professionals, and organizations to break free from financial limitations and achieve extraordinary success. Known for her bold clarity and compassionate guidance, Laura delivers high impact presentations that inspire audiences to master their relationship with money, unlock their inner wealth champion, and build sustainable wealth strategies. Her expertise in mindset coaching and communication mastery leaves every audience motivated and equipped to take bold steps toward financial freedom. Wow, this is so interesting to me. So I am so excited to get right in there. How are you today, Laura? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. It's I'm excited to be here because I love talking to heart-centered people. Like it really is my jam. So I'm excited to be here.
Yes, yes, for sure. So give us a little more background on this personal journey of yours and professional that has been so rewarding. Why did you get into this wealth mastery and become a mindset coach?
Yeah, I I competed for a lot of years on an international level, and I ended up being the coach for the Canadian team for 10, 20 years. I probably created 25 world champions. And
Wow.
involved in that is a lot of leadership and communication, and that translates into business. But not just business, but your life. Now, when I started competing at like a serious level, I became a holistic practitioner because if you know anything about professional athletes, they're always looking for the edge. And so I started with Reiki, and it did give me the edge. It was that mind body connection, clearing the things that weren't serving me at that age, and a whole bunch of other things. And so I love the not just the edge, but the change it created in me. And so I became a certified holistic practitioner. I've been doing it for 30 plus years, and it's really shifted my life on so many levels. But and I worked in corporate for a couple decades. That was very toxic. It was very much a boys' club. But you don't realize how toxic it is till you're no longer in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I was 42 then when they packaged me out. It was just done not in a good way. So I took them to court for a lot of money, and I just decided I'm 59 now. I was 42 then that I'm only doing things that are going to make me happy, that help me, that help other people, and that make me boatloads of money because I love money so much. And I take a lot of crap for that, right? Like, and because what I didn't realize is that not everybody had that relationship with money. And so I became a money mindset and wealth strategist because I wanted to shift people's mindset about money, but also all of those limiting beliefs. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of what people were doing was not aligned with who they are. And so those are kind of the main 3 things that really were the motivator for that. And, I still do teach a lot of martial arts and self-defense and empowerment, like and all that stuff. But, wealth doesn't mean money, but money is a part of wealth. And so I think a lot of us in that healing space struggle with that on so many levels because we're great givers,
Hmm.
but we're not great receivers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little, and it's so true. I'm part of that. Like so many things I have given away for free. And it wasn't until maybe my 3rd year, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing anything for free
Yeah.
anymore. I mean, I still am, but I won't be as, yes, I'll do this. Let's give this a go. Or if somebody can't come to my
Yeah.
class, or just come to my class, right? And it is true. It's because you just have this, you're leading from the heart, but you got to put food on your table too, right? So,
Yeah.
what are the most common limiting beliefs that you see around, or that you see women having around money?
Yeah. If I make a lot of money, I'm going to be selfish. There's a lot of guilt attached with it. Um, the more money I have, the more problems I'll have. Money doesn't grow on trees. Um, those are just a few of the most common ones. Money is evil. Um,
And where are these rooted, Laura?
They're
Where are they coming
usually
from?
rooted a lot of the time in our past, right? So whether it's parents, whether it's ancestral or like a family member or something like that, uncles, aunts, or whatever, it could also be rooted in past lives. And it can also be rooted in events that have happened in this lifetime, right? And for instance, I had a lady who belonged to a cult when she was younger, and you were told to give all your belongings over to them because money didn't mean anything. Like they had control of your life. So you have no use for money, right? And so the structure was gone from the life because money's a big part of structure in our life. It dictates what we do every day a lot of the time instead of us dictating how the money's going to work for us, right? Because we think of it in such a limiting factor that the roles are reversed when it should be different. Yeah.
Wow, wow. And so what can we do about this? How do you teach people? Do you clear this or what is your technique?
Yeah. So I mean, I have about 10, 12 different things that I do. A lot of the time I do clearing statements, like when people start to bring up their limiting beliefs, like it brings it to the awareness. And when it's in the awareness, now it's easier to get rid of. It's when it's not in the awareness that we need to bring it
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of the time, like there are these 5 questions I ask to get rid of limiting beliefs. And so the first question is this real? Is it true? Right? Like, or is it a story like you've been telling yourself on the hamster wheel for so long that it's become your knowing, but it may not be rooted in truth. Well, maybe it is, but that option is there for you to make a different choice, right? Or is it something someone's told you for so long that you think it's a part of yourself, right? That's the other piece of it. The second question is this mine? And it feels like ours because we've been living it most of our lives, right? Whereas I'll give you a good example. My mom, a good one from my mom who's passed this year, she was like, well, money doesn't grow on trees, honey. Well, you know what, Mom, I got a few acres out back. And if you want, a hay ride in my trees and, isn't paper made from trees and money made from paper, right? Like, so it's how you reframe it, right? Which is what we're going to get to. Question number 3 is, does it serve me? If it doesn't serve you, why are you keeping it? Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
just and that's just logic. The fourth question is, when did it start? And the fifth is, what happened? And this is where a lot of people struggle because the number one answer is like, I don't know, right? And actually, as soon as you ask that question, the neurological or scientific explanation is that your reticulator activating system in your brain, okay, that's the one that wants to bring everything's in there, right? It wants to bring it to the surface. So if I say to you, hey, Rita, I want to buy a Honda Civic, what do you think I'm going to start seeing next week?
Honda
Everywhere.
Civics.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So use it to your advantage. So when you say, when did it start? It's starting to go through those files in your brain like a hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? And then it will come up. If you're not sure, pick a number between 0 and your age. What number popped into your head? That's usually the age of whatever that event was. Yeah. So your brain knows. It's just tricks, not tricks, but tips and strategies you can use to bring it to the surface so that we could clear it through clearing statements, releases. I do different techniques. It all depends. But once it's got a charge on it, then we can get rid of the charge. And that's the key. So that when you look at that statement, it doesn't get you all triggered and all the rest of it. You're just like, yeah, whatever. That's where you want to get to. Because what happens then is everything starts to come in because it's not taking up the space that it used to.
And okay, so do you find any resistance when you do this, or like does a person need to do some pre-work, or they have to be in a certain mind state, or okay, so no, you're shaking your head. You're saying no.
No, you are a powerhouse. And so we just need to tap into your powerhouse and everybody has that. So I don't do a lot of that. I mean, it's good to do meditation and stuff for our own self-involvement, calmness, clarity, focus, and power. But this technique can be done anywhere.
And you can get rid of the limiting belief.
Sometimes it takes
How
a bit.
fast? Hmm.
And we use a clearing statement based in Chinese methodology as well. So it's been proven, right? And so the more you say this, like, and it just loses its charge because it just doesn't hold anymore. It's fascinating to me.
So true, so true. So, do people have to necessarily believe in it right away, or can they just kind of do it along the way and that belief or that feeling gets stronger, or the charge will actually get less in this
Yeah, belief
situation?
is not required.
Wow, that's important. That's huge because a lot of people when I share about affirmations, they're like, "Yeah, but Rita, I don't believe it. So why would I say this? And it's not helping me." And that's why they stopped doing affirmations.
You
So,
know what I say to that? I think that's a very interesting point. Is did you say it to yourself in the mirror and did you look in your eyes? Because they're like, no, I'm like, try that. Tell me how it goes. And I'm telling you, probably 95% of the time, well, I started crying. I couldn't do it. Right. I said, because you're looking in your soul. Right. And the soul is not ready to hear what you have to say to it. So look at another piece of your body, but keep looking in the mirror because what's reflecting back at you is what your current state is. Right. And so this takes them just saying words off of a paper, which, they're right. Like it's, well, I don't believe that. Right. And so keeping it simple is really the key. Like big complicated things, they just get in the way. Keep it simple. Like, what do you want? Like, and it's not a problem, but I think that the state of where we are today in the world is like this is us as humans. We're growing, we're learning, we're evolving. This is society. Like it's moving so much faster than us. And we're always in that state of overwhelm. So even to consider things like clearing stuff or doing the work, or we're just trying to survive every day. And I think a lot of the time you have to realize what is your priority here, right? Do you want to get rid of this stuff so you can have more of whatever that looks like for you, wealth, whatever? Or do you want to just keep in survival mode? Because I mean, that's where that's where a lot of even just the most basic primal things in our brain puts us right now because we're just trying to get by, and that's not serving us. Yeah.
no, not at all. So, what do you recommend then? Do you recommend that we work on certain things, prioritize certain things first?
Yeah, like do the 5 minutes of affirmations every morning, right? And work on get those limiting beliefs, like write the reframes. Like you have to spend time, like there's no magical formula, right? And whatever you're doing, like be aligned with it. Like make sure that it's bring it from here to here, right? Because if this doesn't mean anything, then you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall. And that's why you're just going to feel directionless in what you do. Look, most people, their why is made up of two things: their purpose and their drive. Most people have a purpose. Most people struggle with why they're driven. They don't know why they get up every day. And that's because their mission and vision aren't clear enough. Their value proposition, like those things, they're like, yeah, I want that, right? I want that. That's what I want, right? And so once that's in there, that core basic thing, then they can step from there into all the other things they're looking for.
It's true. And it's interesting because as companies, we all have these values, vision, mission, right? But as individuals, if you ask most people that they don't have it, they don't know what's their North Star, what's guiding them. So is that something that you would recommend someone work on before they do anything?
Yeah, like and once, even if you don't know where to start with your mission and your vision, but you have an idea of what you want to do, like where I start with people is I say, okay, I want you to fill in these three things. I want you to give me 4 or 5 points on them. So the first thing is why you want to create what you're creating, like 3 or 4 points. And it can be from your point of view, it can be what you're going to give people, what you want to help people with, whatever it is. The second is what they're going to learn from you. And then the third thing is what's the transformation that you offer them. And once you have those points down, then you can create from there, because that's really basically telling yourself what's driving you. It's right there, right? And so you just put it all together. So it's a bit of a formula, but it works every single time.
And is there a special sort of, not special, but an age group that you would recommend, or you can do this at obviously at any age except for maybe a young.
Yeah, it's any age, but where I find the most common uh, no, I don't want to say struggle, but where people aren't, sure what they want to do, they've done a few things and they haven't worked or they're not aligned with them. And so they tend to be a little bit not older, but I'd say they've got some experience behind them, right? So age doesn't really matter. It's just the experience. And it's
Hmm.
jaded them a little bit because they're like, I tried this. It didn't work, right? I'm like, well, did you try that? Well, no. Well, I already did that. I'm like, but did you do this? No, it's
Hmm.
not going to work. So they've already decided that, right? I'm like, okay, that's not my client, right?
Hmm.
That's not the
Hmm.
person I work with. So they have to want it and they have to want change. And that's a scary thing, right?
Hmm.
Because it's unpredictable. And in that uncomfortableness is where magic happens,
The
right?
growth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more, it's easier to just status quo, right? Complain about it, but yeah,
Yeah.
when it's time to do something, it's not. How fast are these results? And I know like it could take a session, 2 sessions, but is there an average or it
Um,
depends on the person?
it depends on the person. Like I only really work high ticket with most people. So I work a 90-day or a 6 month, and we get through pretty much everything in a 90-day. A 6 month person wants more business strategy. So it's though we still do some of the work, but yeah, it takes time because when we start listing out those limiting beliefs, you know how when a train starts, it's slow at the beginning? It's like we start listing them out and then it just speeds up, right? And that trust factor is there. The container is solid for them to feel, like they can, they've got the support and then it just starts to come out. And that is a part of the healing process too, right? Knowledge.
Exactly. So do you work on all of the limiting beliefs or do you
Hmm.
do you categorize them?
No.
How does that work? Okay, so
I'll look at them. So usually the ones that come out first are what I call the 911s because they've got to be dealt with the first because they're really top of mind and some of them are really brutal, right? Like, so they've been there a long time and they're very meaningful for that person, right? And so those need to go first. It just depends what the person will tell me. They know, right? And so I just gauge it from there. Like it's not, there's always more than enough for them to clear. I mean, it's like we never have a shortage of stuff, right? Like that never happened,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
so, okay, so let's say we work, somebody works with you for 90 days or 6 months, and then they clear these limiting beliefs.
Mhm.
Life gets in the way, right? Do you end up accumulating more, not accumulating, but coming up with more? Or have you found that? Or what is your
Um,
experience in terms of people coming back? Like, what are they coming back for if they do
so
come back?
it's interesting because sometimes there are secondary ones that are deeper that come up sometimes. But I also give them an option to work with me monthly, like if that's something they want to do, if they feel there needs to be more work done. But honestly, what usually happens most of the time is as we work through these things, other things come up and they know how to clear now. They've got the process in their head.
Oh, wow. So you're teaching them how to fish.
I'm teaching them how to fish because I don't want to be someone's client. I don't want clients forever. Like, I mean, I know that's counterintuitive to most people, but like I want you to learn. I want you to move, right? Like, and I don't need to be your strategist forever. Like, that's not my job to be like, yeah. And so, I mean, I'm there for them if they need me, but they're going to learn how to do it, like, because everything I do is teachable, right?
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. And so then I don't want people dependent on me in that way because I'm not teaching anything magical that they can't do. Right. I just know that what's worked for me and helped so many other people that I work with. And so I just give them that info. And then I spend time with them because a lot of the time at the beginning, they struggle with the words. They struggle with how to create the biggest charge to get it to clear the quickest, right? And like how to not get sucked back into that, right? But be on the outside and clear it on the outside. Like look at it as a statement, not just, some,
Belief.
right. Yeah.
Right, right. And so Laura, it's always a limiting belief when it comes to wealth, or could it be
No,
something else?
it could be their money mindset, right? Like their level of deserve.
Mm,
So there, by that, I mean, like if they think about what you deserve to make an hour, most people don't have a number. They struggle with it because they can't receive. And so how can I teach them to receive so that their receiving and their giving is the same? Because until that starts to like balance out the scales, things won't move as much as they can. It makes it hard when you can't receive because then that blocks your money flows as well and your wealth.
right. Yeah. I was just, actually, I used to be like this, but of course, doing the work, come
Yeah,
across so many beautiful people that have taught me, no, no, take it. Like, even
yeah,
though you wouldn't in the past, take it
yeah,
because it's part of the process. It's part of the cycle. It's part of the giving and
exactly.
receiving,
Yeah,
learning how to receive, right?
yeah.
So I'm obviously teaching this to my clients as well, but,
Beautiful.
it is hard. It is hard when you're not used to it for sure. And
Yeah.
then there's that whole selfish, and you don't want to be selfish and you want to give people opportunities. So and that receiving, how do we do that? How do we get better at it?
I did something really simple because I was very much like my mom and I could not receive. She couldn't receive a pencil if I gave it to her. And that was the story of her life. That is not my story. So, what is your story is the first thing. And the easiest thing you can do when people go to give you things is literally say, yes, I'll have that. Because that cognitively starts to change the neural synapses about receiving, right? So you'll start to receive a lot more and say yes to a lot more. And so you're going to do this a lot to the point where you're probably receiving more than you're giving at some point. And then what happens is as you get it really advanced at this, is you decide what you don't want to receive, right?
Right.
I know there are clients I do not want to work with. I know, I know there are certain things I don't want, so I will not receive them.
So I'm sort of hearing it's about it helps to set boundaries too, right?
Hmm.
In terms of
Yeah,
what it is that you want in your life and
yeah,
don't want.
yeah,
And do you find that women struggle with this more so than maybe, let's say, men? And also,
yeah.
I'm a little bit, yeah, I find that men are so
Women
easy.
are very emotionally attached to things. Men are providers. And so, if they can feel like they're providing and they are given an action to take and they take it, they're good, right? Where they fall short is realizing of thinking ahead. Women are planners, they can see where things are going. And so they don't always have that emotionally I want to say sensitive component that women have. Women are givers and they feel every bit of everything a lot of the time because they're very empathic, a lot of women, right? Not that men aren't, it's just they're more like they're providers, right? And so this is their job, they fulfill the job, right? Women are like, oh, well, let's talk about the job. What could we do in the job and how would the job look? And like, and so there's a lot more involved in that whole dynamic, right? And so women have a hard time receiving because not just culturally, but society, generational, ancestral, past life, birth issues, all of those things influence our ability to say yes a lot of the time because we're taught that it's a bad thing and it's greedy, right? And it's selfish, right? And the thing is, if you don't make yourself number one, nothing else could be number two,
Exactly. I
right?
agree. And that's why we call this podcast the Self Care Goddess. Like,
Yeah.
definitely self care is number one before anything else. So I'm curious, though, the past life, how
Mm.
that can help. Like, I've never had anything done actually on, I've had a few people kind of tell me stuff, but I never really had a formal session. What can that do for me, for example, or just
Yeah,
anyone
for sure.
when it comes to mining?
Some of the modalities that I do, it does involve past lives and stuff like that. And so a lot of what's happened there is there's two fronts on that. First of all, there's ancestral stuff. So like grandparents, great grandparents, great, 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 right? And so there are
Okay.
patterns that you will see come through the lifetimes that are handed down to you because that was just the norm, right? And that's what you did. And then there are past lives where we have made contracts with other people to teach us lessons. And if those lessons were not learned, they would shift into the following life and be learned by a different person until the contract was fulfilled, right? On either side. And so, and, some people call it karma or, whatever you want. But, a lot of the modalities that I do, we have the opportunity to change the pattern of those things and transform it into something in this lifetime very quickly. So the contract doesn't need to be a blockage or I'm unable to receive. So as long as a lot of the time the human brain works, it's like, I understand that now, I don't need it anymore. It makes sense to me. So I'm moving on. Right. And so it's allowing yourself to have the grace of not needing all of the baggage that you may have that's carried forward.
And so you identify what that
Yes.
past life,
Right.
whatever that is, and then you clear it again. Like you go through the same.
Yeah. So energy, so in the quantum field, energy can't be destroyed, it can only be transformed. So let's say you have a negative pattern around a major fear about, I don't know, someone ripping you off for money, right? And so that maybe something happened in a past life where, someone stole from you and you got killed or whatever it was. And then in this life, you have that fear of like, I don't trust people with money, right? Like, so there's something there that's attached, right? So releasing that pattern, whether it was just this lifetime or another, and transforming it into, I receive money freely, however it shows up for me in whatever way, is allowing you to kind of delete and release that old pattern and bring in a new one, which is beautiful.
And so having that mindset is stopping me from, for example, or just in general, somebody from accepting a new opportunity or trusting this new client or taking on a client. Is that like, how does that translate into real life
Oh, the patterns?
scenarios? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the patterns that aren't serving you. Yeah, for sure. On every level, right? Like, so it basically shuts down your flows, your money flows, your energetic flows, your sense of self, and it kind of locks you into this place where you feel trapped and you have no way out when actually it's just a simple choice of something different, right? And choosing not to be trapped in that pattern anymore. Or that way of being, right? And so, but again, it's change, right? And that's frightening for people, right? And so so if we can create a sense of comfort or a container where they feel trusted, then they will go for it. They will get rid of it, right? And so the beauty is, like with all of this, it's temporary. You can choose to not have it, right? And
Wow. And so, and once you clear it, does it come back if it's really
unless
strong?
you want it to. I mean, that's why a lot of the time what I'll do is when I do the transformation, I give the affirmation and then I say this affirmation every morning because that keeps the pattern out. And then you know
Right.
how it is. When you learn a new habit, it's 21 days. Then you create a ritual. Then it becomes it becomes your new pattern, right? Like, so the more you do it, the more you'll have, right? And
Right.
it's really
Yeah.
not that complicated. You just have to be willing to let go.
Yes. And so how do you know what to do on somebody? Like how do you know which tool to use or which way you'll take? And I know that comes from your own expertise and intuition, but is there
Yeah.
something that kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
pulls
so
you
I
more?
mean, yeah, so once I take a look at limiting beliefs, I can kind of and their where their business is, I can kind of gauge what they need, right? And so like for instance, I had one client, she was in the army for a lot of years. So there was a lot of PTSD and that was the first thing we cleared. And then once that was cleared, then there was more clarity and focus about what she wanted to do because this wasn't the loop running in her head all the time, right? And so each person is individual. It always usually starts with limiting beliefs and shifting the mindset and the affirmations. Those are the three. And then we look at the business alignment and see where that is as well.
And then you use the different tools. And
Yeah,
I can't remember the tool that you used on me when we had our
yes,
session.
in
Well,
coaching. Yeah.
oh, that was So beautiful. I felt so, I don't know if I told you this, but I felt so energized like the week after a week and even more. It was incredible. I'm still saying the affirmations, they feel good, and yeah, that was amazing. That was really cool. Can you tell us a little more about that and what that
Yeah,
entails?
for sure. So Intuiting is a newer modality. It's based in Hungary, and there is no one doing it in North America or anywhere else in the world. So I'm one of the few people who does that. And basically, I use um, programs on an iPad, and I use a
Pendulum.
pendulum, thank you.
That's okay.
And my intuition, right? And I ask the question, like for instance, what would maybe blocking Rita from making the money she
Hmm.
deserves? And then it will tell me where to look. And then, for instance, if it's a major fear, what is the major fear? That I'll look greedy, right? And so then that's a pattern. So then we delete and release the pattern, and then we give you a transformation, which is your new affirmation. So I am deserving of massive amounts of money, however they show up in my bank account, whatever it is, right? And so it's very simple, it's very quick, and it's also very effective.
Very effective. And you're right. We were half an hour, and I don't know, I think we did 4 or 5, maybe
Yeah,
even more. And so what's with the lightness? Why did I feel so much lighter and just
because you
more
don't own the
energy?
pattern anymore. You released it.
Wow, and it was weighing me down. It was heavy.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, highly recommended. And it was super quick. Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have
I'm
a
all about speed. So if it's going to get me there faster, like I'm in. So,
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to work as
right?
hard. For
Yeah.
sure, for sure. And so is there a favorite tool that you have, or you sort of have a few in your toolbox and that you tap
Yeah,
into?
I have a few, and I always, like I'm fully connected. So I always kind of listen to what is the best for that person because I don't, I'm not that person. So I can only work for their highest good, like what is going to get them the most benefit the quickest, right? And because we live in a society of speed, that's what, that's how we're geared now, right? Like everything is faster, is better. And, but sometimes what we have to realize is we have to sit in the process of things and not rush out of it because that's where the magic happens and that's where the transformation can be super powerful.
So do you mean in the session or after in terms of
Well,
integration?
yeah, all of it. Just be in the moment and be present with whatever is going on.
Yeah, in which many of us can't even
Mhm.
do anymore because we just love being distracted. We're
Right.
really mastering the art of distraction so well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I love that, being in the moment for sure. And yeah, in terms of, so if there's someone listening and this is all resonating, who is sort of your ideal client that you would say, yes, work with me and I can help you?
There's a couple of them. So I work with a lot of high achievers. So these are usually people who have made money. Money is not really the issue here. And there's three things they have in common. So first of all, they're completely obsessed with what they do. Second, they're lifelong learners. And third, they need to be the best at everything, best at home, best at fitness, best at family, best at job, whatever it is. And for them, they'll never admit something's wrong. So the question that I ask is what's next for you, right? And so they want to move from here to here to here to here, right? And so they will do the work. And so, but it's at a higher level, a higher consciousness level, a higher awareness level. Um, and money isn't their issue. It's the other stuff that's getting in the way, which is actually more important to get rid of, right? So those are the type of people that I normally work with. I do work with some entrepreneurs and small business owners. I like working with them too. I don't do it as often just because of time, but I love getting them out of that survival mentality into that thrive and understanding that what their level of deserve is.
Yes, I find that the receiving and the deserve, those are huge,
Yeah,
even for me. And the deserving, is that also rooted in a core wound or a limiting
yeah,
belief
for
that we
sure.
would work on?
I mean, I had one lady who said, I don't, mine's a zero. I'm like, why is it a zero? because like I'm just not worth anything. It's her level of worth, right? I'm like, so let's talk about that, right? And so by the time we finished working together, her level of deserve was up to $80 an hour,
Hmm.
right? Like, and so it's just this perspective we have about ourselves. And the good thing again is it's temporary. You can change it, right?
Yes, I love that. But so when I first started my business, even my other one, because I had an HR consulting company and then I went into the wellness space, I always felt that now I'm a lot more confident in my hourly rate. I'm like, nope, this is it. I'm not doing it for less. But when I first started, I was like, hell, I'll take anything right now. I just
Right.
want to get those clients under my belt and all of that. So do you find that is it's a natural transition, or no, like we should all know our worth from the very beginning, or
I
we
don't
sort of
think we can
accumulate
because
that?
that's a great question because I think we're evolving as human beings constantly. And like, as we grow and own who we are, and like, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I just got divorced, recently, and what I realized is my ex-partner was using my power because he didn't have any of his own. And so I had to take that all back, right? And so my level of worth went up huge. It was good anyways, but it's up here now, right? And so when I say my price, I say it with confidence because I know I can deliver and what I have is life changing and people need what I have. And so, and I have the confidence of that because I've seen the results. People don't care about the inside work. That's not what you talk to them about as business owners. Talk to them about the results you're going to deliver them. They'll do the work. They know that that's involved already. They know you do something magical. They don't know what it is, but they'll do it because you're getting results. And the results is really where you're going to get people to say yes. And so I would tell your audience, focus on that when you're talking to people and don't talk about confidence or inner work or you'll have more of this or that. No, you'll have more of an ROI. You'll be closing business owners. You'll be able to speak with, surety and, all of the things that you're going to deliver. And I give a good example, Rita. So mine is like when people work with me, they're going to have a more positive and powerful relationship with money. So they elevate their revenue fast, make the impact they're looking for, and up their level of deserve. Those are all results driven results.
Hmm. That people want, obviously, right?
And it
And
doesn't
so
have to be about wealth. It can be whatever you do, right?
exactly, exactly. So you're not telling them the what, you're telling or the how, you're
Right.
telling them the results that they will
Yeah.
achieve once they work with you.
Think about all the ads on TV. If you watch them use that like steamer, have you ever seen the steamer and they're like steaming the carpet? I'm like, that's results. I want that. I don't care that I have to put water in it, plug it in. It's got 5 hours of instructions I got to figure out, but I'll buy it for those results.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, we're the same thing, right?
Yeah, so frame it in that way. That's very helpful. Thank you. I actually need that because I'm going to do some business meetings. So good to know
Nice.
to keep that a nice reminder. Yeah. So is there a common advice you tend to give women?
Yeah, for sure. I love that question. So it would be to take your power back and own it completely and just know that you're enough, but have the right support system because it's too hard to do things yourself. Have a coach, have a mentor, have all of it. I do, right? And just know that you're not alone. Like that's really important because I feel like with like we talked about how like everything is moving so fast and we're all in overwhelm. It's just like we forget about how important those supportive things are, like people are, and the place that they have in our life because we just get, like you said, distracted or whatever.
And does the advice change if it's a midlife woman going through the
She's probably
transition?
given away more of her power than she knows. That would be the difference. Yeah.
Just again, take care of yourself and take
Yeah.
that time to get centered.
And
And
no is a full sentence. It's okay,
I know, right? That's so
right? It's
true.
okay to say no. People aren't going to like it, but it's okay. I mean, I teach a lot of that when I teach the empowered protocol, which is like from my martial arts self-defense, boundary setting, verbal strategies, trauma-informed training, all that stuff. And like de-escalating things before they begin is really important. And that's why the no is also very powerful, right? Is it serving you? If it's not, don't do it.
I know. Why is that so hard? Again, core wounds, limiting beliefs, ancestral. We
You
saw
want
our
to get,
mothers doing it. Yeah. People pleasing. And
yeah.
do you find that it's changing if you work with younger women? Do you find that and
Yeah.
maybe this is where social media is actually a good thing, where they're learning these strategies?
Yeah, I feel like that's a double-edged sword because I think that there are so many choices out there for people these days. So choices of not so great or choices of being empowered. And so empowerment, sometimes I find that people weaponize that. And I feel like what empowerment comes down to from the core is what is going to give me power over my choices,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever my choice is, that's my choice, and you don't have to like it. That's real power,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so if you've got haters, you're on the right track. That's all I can say. Like you're on the right track because you're making an impact, right? And
Yeah.
just be in that greatness and just own it. You'll
Yes.
attract the right people.
Yeah. And you exude that. I love that. I love that about you in everything you do. So, what is the best advice that you've ever been given that still holds true today?
You know, it, I've had a lot of horrible things happen to me, which have made me. I sometimes I feel like our trauma shapes our greatness, right? And um, I would just say to people is don't rush the experience of going through stuff because it will always happen for your highest good. And you know who Louise Hayes is, right? She's
Yeah,
like
I
one of
love
the
her.
heroes. I love her so much.
Me too.
And she does this affirmation. I'm going to give it to you and your audience now because it's so powerful. And I say this a gajillion times a day. That's a lot of times. So it's all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. And out of this experience or this situation, whatever you want to call it, only good will come. And I am safe. Because women, especially, do not feel safe. That's a whole
Mm-hmm.
other conversation we could have. Um, but if they feel safe, the cortisol level drops, the confidence starts to build, you start to lose the weight, your body starts to respond, your mental faculty becomes clearer, and you're not as prone to toxic comments or, those kind of things. You're just stepping into your own power, and all is well. Like, just own it, no matter what.
Laura, this is so funny because I just recorded another podcast and I mentioned this affirmation. This is so amazing. And you said it as well. It's so true. I mean, it took me a while to really embody it
Yeah.
and be like, yes, everything is always working out. Because sometimes when it's really bad situation, you're like, where is the good in this? Why is this happening for me? Right? But you're right. You sit with it long enough, it will the muddy water does clear. It does if you sit
Yeah.
with it long enough.
It's so great. And then the other thing you can add to this, right, as you're going through all of this is remove all obstacles, right? Like that. You can always add that, remove all obstacles.
What do you mean in the
In
affirmation?
your affirmation, or I recently was talking to someone who was working with me and they were doing some clearing some patterns for me. And they're like, we just want you to know, like your guides are making this divorce easy for you. And I'm thinking, really? Right. And then I'm
Mm,
like, and so then she gave me the affirmation and I said, I know you're making this easy for me, but how can it be better? What
mm-hmm.
more is there that can be done, right? And so what else could I do for my highest good? So always asking the question, Rita, but not always needing the answer is kind of the key
Yes.
to growth.
Yes, it's true because it'll come
Yeah.
somewhere, somehow. So, is there an influential book that you'd like to recommend our listeners and
Yeah, I
viewers?
mean, I love Louise Hayes. One of my favorites is The Four Agreements.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't read that, that is like a pivotal book. You will change your reality. It really makes you take a look at yourself in just in an interesting way that's not judgmental. And it gives you tips that can change your life very quickly. Yeah.
So I'm still like pretty much all of them. I'm like, I'm okay, except for the one I'm getting better. Don't take things personally.
Yeah, it's hard,
That's,
right?
I know,
Because we're
very
human. Yeah.
exactly. And, you try your best. And of course, with the people that you love. And then, something happens and it's just like, so what are your tips on that one, if you have any?
Of what? Not taking it
Don't,
seriously?
don't take these.
Yeah, ask yourself the question, is this really about me or is it just their point of view? And so something I use for that for my clients is having this on repeat in your head. That's an interesting point of view that you have that point of view, right? Because what that means is nothing, right? And so that gives what they're saying no, there's no charge, right? And so
Yeah, yeah,
and it's just never really about you. And so if you can really stay in that, EQ frame of mind where you're emotionally intelligent about it, look, there are three things about communication. First of all, it's understanding of self, understanding of others, and then how you're perceived in the world. That's the hardest one, right? Because everyone wants to be seen as a good person, right? But no matter what, if someone's got an opinion about you, no matter what you do, you're not going to change that opinion.
no,
It's okay. You don't need their time.
yeah,
There are 8 billion people on the planet. If one does not like you, there are another
yeah,
799,999 billion people. It's okay.
yeah, that's true. But what if it's a loved one?
And I don't speak to my sister. She's a damaged narcissist who loves to be in the drama, trauma, and all the rage. And she does not serve me. And I know she hates my guts. And there's nothing I can do about it. And that's just her point of view. But my life is better without her in it.
Yeah, that's another question that I often ask as well, right? Okay, amazing. I love it. So, what are your top three non negotiable self care habits? I'm curious, Laura.
The spa, my affirmations in the morning, and I go to bed early.
How early?
I went to bed at 10 p.m. last night,
Oh, that's not early. That's good. That's, yeah. Okay, so, what time do you wake up? Curious.
5 or 6.
Okay, that is
I have a
early.
long day. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, if I don't feel rested, I can't perform. And I
Yes.
don't mean perform like I can't be my best self, right? And so,
Yeah, I think your intuition would definitely not be at its peak if you don't
right.
have the rest, right?
Yeah.
That we need. I value. I need like 8 9 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I feel like as we age, apparently we need less. I'm like, not me. I'm like going the other way. I need as much as a growing kid, but I do feel super amazing and like it's well needed for sure.
Awesome.
So if you don't have any tips on how to reduce that sleep time, because I like you, I love to have my busy days and do so much and accomplish so much. But sometimes it's like, okay, 9 o'clock, I got to start winding down because then I want to do my meditations. And it's just like, I need more hours in the day.
Yeah, you control your sleep. So you can just tell yourself before you go to sleep, I want to wake up at 6 tomorrow. And you'll
Yeah.
wake
Yeah. And it's true without an alarm and feeling,
up.
yes. What's helped a lot is my morning walks have helped me to really feel like that
Right.
cortisol rush and let's go for the day. But here in the winters, you don't get that much sun. So
Right.
we need to compensate for that somehow. So, Laura, what is your legacy? What do you want to be known for?
Um, I think it's really important for women to lead the way in a lot of things. In a lot of things that I've done, there were no women leaders, especially in martial arts, and
Yeah,
it's the only woman on the training desk. So, my legacy would be to create powerful women who stand together, um, to support each other, and to create a significant impact on a global scale.
that's beautiful. And yeah, you're definitely doing that for sure. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And I'm so grateful that our paths have
Yay.
crossed. Yeah, thank you for such a beautiful soul, inside and out, and really, really helpful. I'm really, really thank you for your time sharing these golden nuggets with the audience and the viewers. And so, where is the best place if someone is really wanting to work with you? And because, as I mentioned, that 30-minute session was amazing, I'm looking forward to doing more for sure.
Sure.
So, where's the best place to reach you?
Yeah, so they can just reach out at my calendar. I always offer that. It's talkwithlaura.com.
Hmm.
Just book a half hour with me and let me know how I can help you.
Amazing, amazing. I love it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
My
And
pleasure.
I look forward, maybe we will do another one on
Yes,
safety and women and get a little bit more information on that.
for sure.
And thank you again. Have a beautiful rest of the day.
All right, take
Bye.
care, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Care Goddess podcast. If today's episode inspired you, share it with another woman who's ready to reclaim her vitality and lead from within. To continue your journey, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and connect with me on ritasavoya.com. Until next time, remember, self-care isn't selfish, it's your superpower. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and keep rising. Ciao for now.